All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Excuse me. In somewhat of a surprise, the Baltimore Ravens have signed Pro Bowl wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., as he is going to be bringing his talents there for next season. Now, for me, this deal comes out of left field as it appeared that Odell would possibly be joining the New York Jets or maybe another team, not the Ravens. Beckham sat out the entire 2022 NFL season after he suffered a torn ACL in Super Bowl number 56 as a member of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, there is no questioning the playmaking ability of OBJ, as he is a big time pass catcher in the NFL, but he's coming off of two ACL injuries since 2020. Credit to him for rehabbing and battling his way back and getting to this point. And I will say this, if you watched Odell coming down the stretch in the 2021 season with the Rams and how that Super Bowl started off for him, you could see that he was on his way to a big payday from somebody because Odell was having a big Super Bowl in the first half until he got hurt. And honestly, you might have made the case that he could have been in the MVP talk for the game had he not gotten hurt. That's how things started off for him. But nonetheless, Odell is a Baltimore Raven now. And you have to ask yourself, is Baltimore simply trying to sweeten the pot as making Odell's arrival enough to keep quarterback Lamar Jackson happy? We all know about the contract saga that continues between Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. It resulted in Baltimore hitting Lamar with the non exclusive franchise tag last month. A deal has still not been struck. Obviously, that's given Lamar the opportunity to talk to other teams around the league. As of right now, at least, nobody is willing to give up two first round picks along with paying Lamar Jackson, which is why he is still a Baltimore Raven theoretically. But you look at this, if Lamar Jackson plays for the Baltimore Ravens next season, he and Odell Beckham could be a dangerous combo. Why? Because just by Odell agreeing to join the Ravens, he is now going to be the best wide receiver that Lamar Jackson would have played with in Baltimore. Despite the two knee injuries, Odell is still very explosive, a solid route runner, good hands, and if he's motivated, he's one of the best in the game. And I think Odell will be motivated because he got his money, yes, but Odell just got the money for 1 year. It's kind of a prove it deal, if you will, because Odell knows that he's not going to get, you know, the big money, the long term deal, especially since he's coming off of the injuries. PM Dub, what's going on? You're saying, please no, that would be a problem. I'll tell you like this, it'll be a very interesting thing if, and I say if, OBJ and Lamar are on the same team because I love the way that Mark Andrews as a tight end plays. Now you have somebody that could stretch that field from the wide receiver position. Mark Andrews to me is I want to put him in the category of slightly underrated as a tight end. He's a stud, but I'm still going to put him in that category as slightly underrated, if you will. Uh, but for Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh, are they just simply trying to show Lamar that, hey, you know what, we could finally put some pieces around you? Because Eric DeCosta, during his time as the Ravens general manager, has not, and I repeat, not done a good job as far as putting skill position players around Lamar Jackson. It's going to be interesting to see if this pushes the needle slightly as far as getting Lamar Jackson to sign. I'm not sure because at the end of the day, from the outside looking in at least, I still feel that Lamar Jackson wants his money. on his terms, not the Ravens' money on the Ravens' terms. That's just my opinion to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of signing a guy like Odell is going to push the needle. Will Odell be able to talk to Lamar Jackson? I don't know. I'm just talking about this hypothetically. Obviously, I'm not there. But nonetheless, I think this is a solid signing, and it will be a solid signing if, and that's the operative word that I'm talking about right now, if Lamar Jackson is on board with this. Because if you've got somebody else throwing Odell the football next season, it's probably not going to be, what everybody was looking for, hoping for, and it's not going to bring that same excitement. No. But I'll tell you like this, it's very interesting, to say the least. And on the other side of this, for what Odell got for 1 year, with the Baltimore Ravens, I simply don't think that the New York Jets were going to spend that type of money on Odell. I know he was scheduled to visit the Jets, but the Baltimore Ravens just simply jumped in and gave Odell an offer that he could not refuse. And at the end of the day, the NFL, like any other business, is simply a business. Money talks and everything walks. So at least for the 2023 NFL season, Odell will be wearing the purple and black. Who will be throwing him the football this season? We still got to wait and see. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. PM Dub, as always, I appreciate you chiming in. I appreciate you dropping some comments in the box. I will definitely be talking about the NFL draft in the next coming weeks. Please feel free to drop in again. I'm sure you're going to be focused on, the team that you're repping. And you know what? We can go back and forth and, drop some words about that because, the draft is one of the most exciting times around the NFL outside of the season itself. And I know, excuse me, right there. You put in the comment box that you're a Giant fan, and listen, I got plenty to talk about for the Giants in the draft, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. I mean, they've had a very interesting offseason. It started with taking care of Daniel Jones. Obviously, they have the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley. They've also signed some other weapons to put around Daniel Jones, and they still have the NFL draft ahead of them. So obviously, there's still going to be plenty to talk about with Big Blue, but definitely appreciate the support and I'm going to keep it coming. And just like that, folks, this is William Martin signing off, saying thanks again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.